thought I'd come down to the garden and show you what we got going on down here. It's, what is it, June 20, Saturday anyway, June 28th? Gosh, I kind of forgot. I think it's the 28, 29, 30. Yeah, because I think Tuesday is the 1st. Well, here's the garden. It's looking pretty good. We got this whole row right here. That's Hungarian hot peppers. And it looks like we got a few peppers on there too. And they're looking real good. I did notice that it looks like one died down here. One fell over. Yeah, it's died. Yeah, that one didn't make it. But we got a lot of them. They did pretty good. And in this row over here, we got blossoms. Stuff going on. Peppers look okay. And they're jalapenos. Because you can never have too many jalapenos. So that's the plants. The jalapenos. And then down here, these were some other jalapenos I planted, but I don't think that's a jalapeno. That looks like a weed. Anyway, so down here, this is funny, but Blaine bought some asparagus, and we just got it with a tray of vegetable plants. It was the last one he had, so Blaine planted it in here in the garden. And it was real brown looking when we got it, but it's doing pretty good. It's looking green, sending up new shoots down there too. And then this is a volunteer plant. I don't know what it is yet, but I guess we'll see. But the only thing that I planted in here that would be like that last year was some acorn squash. So I don't think it looks like the acorn squash though. It's the only thing. And then right here in the middle, we got a big pile of weeds. Over here, we've got some pickle plants. And there's a weed. Weeds, you just can't. No matter what you do, you can't get away from them. So the pickle plants look pretty good. Get some pickles going. Can't wait. And then I got two kinds of tomatoes. I got some big boys because I haven't grown any big boy tomatoes for a few years, and they're really nice for diced tomatoes or for canning tomatoes, making whatever. I've always canned them. And then starting here, going that way, those are Romas. And a paste tomato. Actually, they're a little bit bigger than a Roma would be. They're just a paste tomato, the guy said. And then I did seed my own, and they're looking a little pitiful, but they'll have some tomatoes. But then there's these few that they're kind of small looking. Those I seeded myself. So, and here's the sticker he gave me from their paste tomato by Burpee. Big Mama Hybrid. There we go. So they look pretty good. They're doing good. And then over here, we did acorn squash last year, and I only had about 2 plants, and we got so much squash. And I roasted it in the oven, softened it up, and then cut them in half and seeded them after I roasted them in the oven. I poked holes in them so they wouldn't explode in the oven. But then when I got done, I was trying to just scoop out the squash, and this is a pain. And I was getting sore hands. So I said, well, let me take a paring knife and just cut the outside rind off. And I got more squash that way. And it was real nice. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants there. So that ought to give us a whole bunch for the freezer. And see, the plastic has water on it. It's rained the last few days. It's real wet. And then these are bell peppers. And I got some bell peppers planted up in our raised beds. So there's just 6 of these. But I think they're a different kind than the ones I seeded myself. And then down here, never had bad luck with this stuff, but it's broccoli. Oh, we just always have a really nice crop of broccoli, and I put tons of it in the freezer just from a few plants. You get that initial head, and then afterwards it sends up extra heads. Excuse my thumb. I'm talking with my hand flying around. So we got 6 plants doing good, looking good, and we'll have broccoli. And this is all organic. We don't put any weird stuff on it. In fact, you can see we didn't kill any weeds, did we? So, and then I thought, oh, before I say what that was going to be, the other night, 2 nights ago, Lucy started barking like crazy. And what in the world is she barking at? I looked out here, and out here by the door, I got this chair here that I like to use, and there was a big old groundhog out there. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't dig under my fence. He was huge, and Lucy was losing her mind, and so Blaine said he's going to put the live trap out, and we'll catch him and get rid of him. And we won't make him anybody else's problem. We had a terrible problem in our field last year. We got 26 acres that the farmer rents, and the last 6 or 7 years, the one farmer had alfalfa on there, and he never did any fertilizing. He never did anything to it. So we got a different farmer this year who's going to take care of it a little bit better. So anyway, the last 6-7 years, all there's been is a lot of big groundhog holes. And so we went out, and I went out with my 117 cal gun, a 17 caliber. Well, if I could think of it, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, I was stalking groundhogs. We have a hill in the field, and you could get up there and you could see a long ways, and they'd pop their heads up, and then yep, and that's it. We got 13 of them last fall doing that. And on just that's the north field. The south field didn't have any problems. The north field did. So here I am. I'm coming up on that alfalfa field that Blaine planted. You can go back and see the videos from that. And look how nice this came out. That is some nice looking alfalfa. And he's mowed it twice or once. It's been over a month since it's been going. And he had to chop down the weeds. So he mowed the top of it and mowed the weeds down. It was especially bad down on that end. So now look at this alfalfa. The deer like it. There's a few mamas that hang out in the yard and go back and forth. The other night there was a turkey in the yard. There's a hen, and we think she has a nest in this, I don't know, it's not really a woods. It was a field, and then my father-in-law planted all these spruce trees about 40 years ago, and then it's filled in with all this scrub. And in fact, I think in one of the videos I talked about, we had a spruce tree that had tipped, and it had fallen against another tree, and we were hoping that it would live. And, well, we looked out here this past week, and it's fallen. Totally fallen, and you can see the deer have eaten off the leaves and everything off of this tree that it fell against, that's fallen a branch. Oh, it's a mulberry. You can see the berries right in there. You can see the red. So, oh, you can smell it too. Beautiful. I love spruce. But you can see let me do a close up here. You can see they ate all the leaves, but there's a ton of mulberries on there. So that's a mulberry tree. So we'll have to get out here and chop that down. But this is, ring around the mulberry bush. No, they're trees. They're huge. When I was a kid, we had a couple of mulberry trees on the front by a house that was downtown Carroll. It was a block and a half off Main Street. Had normal front yard, but had mulberry tree in the front yard that we could climb up. It had a crotch, and we could sit up there in the crotch of the tree and pick mulberries. And of course, it was right next to the driveway, so that wasn't fun. But as long as they're far enough away from the driveway, I'm okay with it. And then they get planted. They're volunteer trees because the birds eat the things and poop out the seeds. And there's actually one in here that's ripe. So, yay. They're pretty good. They taste pretty good. Lots of berries. But the birds usually get them before we can get any. So, anyway. So if you have a tree that has leaves that look like these, and it's next to your foundation or next to your garage or a barn or any building, you better cut it down, because it can get pretty big if you don't. They can mess with your foundation. And you have to keep cutting them down or kill the stump, grind it out, dig it out, get rid of it. Otherwise, you're gonna keep having it grow back. I know this from personal experience. We have one or two growing next, because the birds land on your... Oh, look at the pretty butterfly. Oh, he flew before I could get him. Shoot. Anyway, so we've had a few that have grown next to the foundation, and so we cut them out. But they don't stay gone forever. But this is the food plot that Blaine worked on in a couple of the videos where he was rototilling it, and he planted the seed, spread the seed by hand, and then he used our lawn roller and went over it. So you can look back at those videos and see how we did it. But this is looking really nice. Really nice. So I think we'll have this food plot for a few years. We won't have to do anything. The alfalfa is really good and comes back. And the dirt down here is real nice. It's more sandy at this end, and at that end down there, it's really black, really dark. And of course, the weeds. But then the road's over there, and see, there's stuff here, and you can't tell, but see, there's a car just went by. There it is. They can't look over here and see the deer or the, critters in the food plot. And I like that. I don't like people driving by and seeing fawns or, doe and a fawn or doe and twins we got in the yard, and then they stop and they gawk at it, and, it's okay. People like to see the wildlife. But They hang out here all the time, constantly. And I want them to have privacy or be safe, to feel safe. So anyway, we put that food plot in it's not somewhere you hunt, but it's just real nice to not have to mow that pot in the yard. That's a big yard to mow. Takes our son, he mows it for us, and it takes him 3 hours. So he's mowing around the pole barn and around the trees and around the house. Oh my gosh, there's so many pine trees. I don't like pine trees anymore. Pine needles everywhere, and the pine cones. Ugh. And then these things. These things have been all over my truck. Ugh. And all over the driveway. They look like little worms. But anyway, that's all I know there. And there is one nice maple tree in the yard. Oh, and some people call it a tulip tree. But oh my gosh, I can never think of the name of it. Guess I forgot again. So I won't tell you. Just forget it. But it's a tree that the hummingbirds love. It's got orange flowers. We get Baltimore Orioles and tons of hummingbirds. And of course the bees like it. What the heck is the name of the darn thing? Maybe I'll think of it. To go through my alphabet. A, B, C. I forgot about it, and I was telling my friend Kathy about it, and I had to text her later and say after I thought of it. But it's a vine, and these are the flowers, and they've just started to open. And then the hummingbirds will come and they love it. But because they're orange, they attract the Baltimore Orioles too. You can see it grows. It's a big vine. And this one's grown up the side of this old post. It used to be a light post. And it's grown up around that. And if you and we cut it back every year, right to the pole, and it looks like nothing until, gosh, only a couple weeks ago has it gone crazy and got all these leaves and flowers and growth on it. Trumpet vine, that's it. So I guess these are trumpet flowers. So, anyway. If you have one of those, oh my goodness, it is so fun to watch the birds, the hummingbirds. And the males, of course, they'll fight because, of course, territorial. But kind of nice. Well, I'm going to leave you all here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.